Welcome to the channel, YouTube world. It's a big one. There's going to be a link down below in the description box, as always, if you want to read this shite at your own leisure. So let's get into it. It's massive. Oh boy, oh boy. Ranked fleet battle, dogfight, and co-op fleet battles versus AI now allow backfill while pilots are waiting in the briefing room/hangar. A timer prevents the briefing room hangar from persisting forever. In the case that backfills cannot be found within the time limit, the server will close and players will be returned to the main menu without penalty. Players that leave the briefing room hangar before the timer expires will receive a leaver penalty. Note that the penalty given for abandoning the game after deployment to the map is much more severe than the one given for leaving the briefing room hangar. Reminder that penalties can be lifted over time by completing matches. Players that leave the briefing room in this way will not cause the new forfeit option to be activated. Players that leave the briefing room in this way will not suffer a loss. Adjusted the brightness of Star Wars Destroyer's engines when flying too close to them. Fixed an issue where PC players would use the minimum requirement GPU couldn't launch the game due to older drivers. Many minor fixes and stability improvements across the entire game. Career and challenges fixed an issue where the career best stat was inaccurate. Fixed an issue where the friendship challenge couldn't be claimed after completion. Yeah, when you're in the friend zone, you can't claim. Anyways. Controls fixed an issue where remapping inputs while multiple joysticks such as the Xbox controller and a HOTAS were connected could cause inputs on the inactive joystick to be unintentionally rebound. Fixed an issue where diagonal thumbstick movement was significantly hindered when using the Aviator control scheme / certain custom mappings. And also, if you give this video a thumbs down, I'll make sure that your hand is significantly hindered because I'll snap it, but I'll make it just good enough that you can click the like button on future videos. Fixed an issue where simultaneous inputs of opposite commands, example yaw right and yaw left, would not act as intended. Fixed an issue where HOTAS controls would incorrectly interact with power management when free look was active. We've made it so that if a player changes their control configuration but forgets to hit save before the main menu closes, the game will remember the changes made so they can be saved upon opening the menu shortly after. Fixed an issue where the reconnect DualShock message could not be closed after reconnecting a DualShock or HOTAS controller, such as after a controller falls asleep. Throttle can now be mapped to a HOTAS joystick. Fixed an issue where PS4 players using HOTAS would have a delay before their controls would respond after launching from the hangar. When rebinding HOTAS controls, we've reduced the sensitivity detection for the throttle and stick so that they don't accidentally get mapped incorrectly. Fixed an issue where when using a joystick axis in the radial menus, diagonals wouldn't work. Keyboard arrows can now be used to toggle different input selections. Fixed an issue where HOTAS dead zones can be manually set to exactly 50%. Added binding options for individual comms menu options. Fixed an issue where going to the PS4 dashboard would reset the throttle to 50%. Dogfight improved spawn points on SLS to help players feel less separated from the dogfight when respawning. Fixed an issue where pilot banter and match music could continue into the end of the round screen rather than transition out naturally. Fixed a rare issue where the game would crash due to a brief disconnect when transitioning into the match. Fleet battles. In addition to the updated lobby system, we've implemented 2 other notable changes for fleet battles: improved AI functionality to prevent AI farming issues and the option to reset your rank during this operation. The latter will help players who got stuck at rank 0 get out of the state and also let players who have been able to rank up normally reset themselves if they wish to, since the rank 0 issue may have unfairly calculated their skill rating when fighting affected players. We've also included a change to capital ship behavior to make mosquitoing, the act of hiding under a capital ship and dealing damage into it, less of an issue. This will reward the play style of players who are flying like proper mavericks. Those who aren't, you're much more likely to be blasted into oblivion now. Added a rank reset option for Operation 1. I'm just going to skip through some of this because I actually don't have that much time to read every single detail. We've updated AI starter fighter morale values and positioning to prevent exploitative farming of them in fleet battles. Capital ship turrets are now much more responsive to changes in player speed. Flagship turrets are now more aggressive when being attacked out of phase. Fixed an issue where players could end up with a negative skill rating. Practice, we've added additional obstacle courses for players to test their skills. Social, made some messaging clearer when a player without crossplay enabled is invited by a player with crossplay enabled. What else do we got? Spectator, fixed an issue where the Imperial cockpit could display. Yeah, so just stuff with the spectator. Sorry, I don't have that much time, and these patch notes are insanely long. Starfighters and pilots, TIE bombers have been rebalanced. Fixed an issue where Imperial torso cosmetics would reset. Everything in the dark black is what's being highlighted as the main key fixes, which is what I'm reading. Story. Holy cow, there's a lot of stuff done to the story. Fixed an issue in Mission 11. Fixed an issue where players would instantly die in the final mission of the game if they flew ahead of the objective. Fixed an issue where some assets were not correctly appearing during a cutscene. Just fixed a lot of story stuff, just to keep it simple. UI added the ability to turn off all tutorials. So that's really good. VR, okay, fixed an issue where Starfighter decals would only appear on one lens. Fixed the issue where the Kowakian monkey lizard hologram was not visible on the PSVR. Made the player's pilot models look less unnatural when looking around. Don't ask what that was. Versus AI, we've adjusted the difficulty modifiers of the easy difficulty setting after finding it was too hard to beat. And that's pretty much it for these patch notes. Like I said, if I had a bit more time, if I didn't have such a bad headache, I would have narrated the entire thing. But the main point is to let you know that an update is even out to begin with, and to provide you with a link for you to read these patch notes, find out what's been changed, because that's huge. That's like game breaking or fixing. So there you have it. So if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. You didn't like the video, we already know what's going to happen if you give it a thumbs down. I addressed that earlier on. If you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally, that would be wonderful. I'm trying to become a big thing around here. But if not, thanks for shattering my dreams and stopping by anyways. Take care, boys and girls, or whatever it is you identify as. And hopefully, maybe, I'll see at least some of you in the next video. Bye now.